Hi, beautiful souls. Today I'm sharing a little light on protection as a different version of Zaza. I used to hear my mother say to me, protect yourself, darling. Now you must protect yourself. Put yourself in a bubble of light. You must protect yourself. She used to say this to me frequently, and she said it to me for good reason. Back in those days I was exploring darker realms. I was ashamed of my light. I was embarrassed that I held so much light when so many of my friends seemed to be on a much darker, dramatic vibe, and I wanted to emulate that a bit. It's so weird when you look back on these things, but we do what happens. We do what happens. What happens, we do. So there was this period which stretched longer than it should have done, really, but hey, that's just the way it was. And so often I would be walking along and I would hear my mother's voice going, place yourself in a bubble of protection. Place yourself in a big bubble of light. And I used to pass it on to everyone, like, oh, Mama always says, put yourself in a bubble of protection. I said, it really does work. I mean, I could have just gone, hey, let's just all lighten up. But, I didn't. And one evening, I was walking back from my friend's house in Brighton. And I remember walking up the road towards my house. And this man started walking towards me. And he looked like he had intention to do something that I didn't feel was particularly nice. So in that moment, I quickly visualized this huge bubble of protection surrounding me, and I didn't hesitate. It was really, really probably one of the purest, most intentional bubbles I'd ever created in a very brief, quickly. And he walked straight towards me. I think he was planning to take my money or something like this. I'm not entirely sure. And as he walked towards me, he actually bounced off my field. He bounced, and he looked really shocked. He looked spooked. And he sort of stumbled back, looked at me, and then he ran off. And I was like, wow, that was powerful. Wow, there's no mistaking that. He bounced off my field. So I went home, and of course, throughout our lives we have clues, or we have experiences that help to bring us back to the essence of who we are, help us to remind ourselves, hey, look, you are powerful, you can be and do anything. You don't have to go down that route, you don't have to do that. So for years I used to dabble in and out of practicing playing with my bubble, and then I remember years later a friend of mine said, hey, look, when you're up leveling your energies, you need to up level your protection techniques. So I went about up leveling my protection techniques. I think for a long time I used to do Lisa Renee's fifth dimensional shield building technique, which you can find on YouTube. And I did that for a long time. And then I felt like, and then there was a bit of, back and forth from another friend saying, oh, look, you really need to keep protecting yourself. And I felt, you know what? Protection is really important when you are expanding. It's really important if you still have a lot of density within you and you still need to release a lot of stuff. You still need to really protect yourself. But the more you lighten up, the more you start to see, hang on a second. If I'm constantly protecting myself, I'm saying there's something that I am afraid of, and that there are fears outside of me that I must protect myself against. So it's one of those experiences of getting the balance as we transfer from, lower dimensions to higher ones. But do you see angels protecting themselves in the way that us humans do? Do you see the angelics? Do you see the masters going about themselves doing? They don't need to, because when you hold your inner power and you radiate love and you are love, there is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. Protection is a human construct. This is what I believe. It's a human construct. And that everything that is out there that we consider to be bad is, again, what we have created, stuff that we have created. And just as much as we have created it, we can also uncreate it. So whilst there are dear souls out there battling demons, these are the demons that you have created in your mind, and you can also uncreate them. It takes time to sort of release that density, because unless you are in alignment with lighter ways of being, it can seem like, yeah, right, whatever. Because I think we've all experienced that at times when somebody presents something to challenge our beliefs, and we're like, nah, not having that. And then we're like, hang on a second, maybe I think I will have that after all. So I'm not saying not to protect yourselves. Protect yourselves whilst you are releasing density. Protect yourselves whilst you still feel you need to. But there will become a point where you will radiate so much light and so much love, because you are love, that protection will no longer be part of a need for you. And also, what I've noticed is that lately I've been like floating inside my body, but I've noticed that I feel like I'm already in a bubble anyway. This huge bubble of glistening light that goes like 20, 30 meters and is just filled with everything that brings me joy, everything that uplifts me, so that I can walk into a situation that maybe I wouldn't have liked to have done in the past, and I don't feel like I'm collecting anything. I'm not feeling like I'm depleted in any way. I'm feeling very different to how I used to feel when certain beings used to come into my presence and well, I suppose take my energy, but it's not that they were taking my energy, it was that I was allowing that. We allow those things happen when we allow it. We have to be aware. When we're aware, we're like, if something's not resonating with us, we just withdraw ourselves, we withdraw our energy. I'm going now, and I still do that, and I don't feel bad about it. If something happens and I'm like, nope, not liking this, I've had enough of that, I just up and go, leaving now. And that's the way it is. So just play with the word protection. Play with that word and challenge your beliefs about that word. Speak to your highest self and commune with your highest self about what protection means to you, and whether that's in fact maybe keeping you in lower dimensions, or whether it's something that you can release because you are so full of love in this now that it's no longer something that you need to be carrying around. Maybe you do. Yeah, this is the thing that I just want to encourage, is that always speak to your highest self. Always go within and seek the wisdom and the guidance of your highest self. Meditate. Walk through life meditating, asking these questions, connected with your highest self. Thank you for watching. My name is Zaza. If you like this video, share it, subscribe, comment if you feel called to do so. Thank you very much for watching. Peace and love.